Now, I wanted to get to Phineas Breeze because Phineas is not a name that you hear a lot, right? Not many people naming their babies Phineas. So tonight is a special night because you're going to get to hear about two Phineases. All right. So Abraham Lincoln had a favorite preacher, and his favorite preacher was Dr. Phineas Gurley. He preached at a church, about 2 blocks from the White House in Washington, D.C. during the time that Abraham Lincoln was president. And Lincoln loved to go hear him speak, but the issue was when the president shows up at church, even back then, it was kind of a big deal and it just disrupted everything. So he and Phineas Gurley got together and devised a plan. In the building where they met, Phineas Gurley up in the front of that building had an office, his study. And he had 2 doors in it. One was a door to the outside. The other was a door that led into the front of the auditorium. And so what Phineas Gurley would do is whenever he was going to speak, because he never knew when Lincoln would come, when his schedule would allow. So he started doing it every time because they had this arrangement. He would speak. He would leave the door that opened up to the outside unlocked. And then he would leave the door that led into the auditorium cracked. So when Lincoln could come, he would walk the 2 blocks. He would slip in the side door after church had started. Everyone was inside. He would sit in Dr. Phineas Gurley's study. He would listen to the sermon. He could hear it because the door was cracked. Then when it was over with, he would get up. He would slip out the side door before everybody left, walk back to the White House, and nobody ever knew. It's a perfect arrangement. So one evening, he walks the 2 blocks with an assistant, slips in. The assistant stays outside, listens to the sermon, slips back out. They're walking the 2 blocks back to the White House. And the assistant says, well, how was the message tonight, Mr. President? Abraham Lincoln said, well, it's obvious that he studied a lot. It was well put together. It was eloquently presented, and it was filled with scripture. And the assistant walking with the president said, well, that's great, Mr. President. I'm glad that it was a great message. And Abraham Lincoln said, I didn't say it was a great message. He said, well, you said it was, obvious that he spent a lot of time, it was well put together, and it was eloquent. He said, yes, but that doesn't make it a great message. He said, well, Mr. President, what makes it a great message? Why was it not a great message? And he said, because he did not ask us to do anything great. So what I want you to do is I want you to spend some time thinking about that before the next time that you preach, you teach a class, or whatever you do. And I want you to determine in your mind that whatever you do, whatever you present, you're going to challenge the people who are listening to you to do something great. Challenge them to do something hard. Far too often today, we let people come and we let people go, and all we do is just present a nice little watered down message. And we don't challenge people to apply that to their lives. And so I challenge you to think about that and determine that next time you do something, you will. Okay? And as you do that, what are you going to remember? That you love us, that I believe in you, that I am praying for you, and I cannot wait to see all that God is already doing through you and going to do through you for the kingdom. God bless you. You take care. We'll see you next time, okay? Bye, Melanie.